Based on a real-life Dyatlov incident, Kholat is an atmospheric tour de force, producing jump scares, an unrelenting feeling of dread, and a large world to explore and discover. The sometimes shaky dialogue and ambiguous narrative, not to mention the irritation of instant death, reduce its effectiveness, but Kholat retains enough atmosphere to make this a worthwhile journey. So, brief history lesson. On the night of February the 2nd, 1959, 9 Russian hikers died from an unknown compelling force in the Ural Mountains. When a search party found them, the hikers were dead, all in mysterious circumstances, like the best horror film. Tongues cut out, fractured skulls from non-existent murderers. Only this horror film setup was real, and Kholat, though never able to provide answers, does take you down the supernatural path. The 70 years since this happened hits a sweet spot. It's not too close that it's offensive, but neither so long ago that the factual evidence makes it alarmingly real. This being an exploration game, the UI is boiled down to basics with map, compass and a set of coordinates, the only real items available, plus a flashlight. As you track the hikers and the investigation team, the game marks locations on your map, and discovering clues in the form of logbooks sets a checkpoint if you come to a bad end. And yes, this isn't a non-death walking game, as a creepy anomaly, well, several of them are out there in the woods, tracking you, hunting you down, and generally doing their own thing. The campfires provide safety, but the best part of Kholat is the dread produced by these monsters. They don't appear in the same place each time, and leads you constantly to checking and rechecking every angle as you make your way through the forest and environment. It's not actually unlike Alien Isolation in that regard, and the uncertainty it produces is Kholat's best feature by far. That the roots of Kholat extend into the real world also adds a layer of tension you don't get in other supernatural experiences. This experience stayed with me after I played it, and you can't deny the value of having something affect you like that. Alien Isolation takes place on a space station. Outcast, a mental asylum, well, whatever. Kholat, 9 Russian hikers genuinely died in horrific circumstances that nobody can explain to this day, and you're going to investigate that in this game. It's pretty cool stuff. However, it's easy to be cynical about many of these walking exploration games, since there's so many that have popped up in recent years, especially when they focus heavily on narrative that you discover along the way. But despite that, you can't deny that Kholat is extremely effective in producing an atmosphere that's memorable and special. Having said all that, it still has a few issues that detract. The lack of guided exploration means that you can wander around not getting anywhere for a long period of time. I mean, that could be seen as part of the experience, but video games need to keep you engaged and not frustrated in order to build atmosphere. I didn't actually run into that many problems myself backtracking, but the map is quite large that getting lost actually is inevitable in the end, and an annoyance that impinges on the tension other sections do so well to create. The main narration, though voiced by Sean Bean, is fueled by slightly vague copy, and you always get the odd feeling hearing his northern tones over something so esoteric and, well, Russian. His identity is also mysterious though, and it helps to keep the creepiness and uncertainty going, though I did wonder if many of the passages he comes out with actually made any sense at all, and were just put in as fluff. The logbook scraps you pick up, marked audibly by rustling paper, fill in the narrative of the hikers and the investigation team. There's little definitive here, but piecing together the accounts is satisfying, and most are voiced superbly, though it would have been good to be able to close the journal and hear them as you carried on exploring. The origin anomaly also acts as a marker of sorts, guiding you towards areas where more clues might hide. Other times it's a ruse though, and you'll be led into a dark place where scares and instant death awaits. When faced with these violent ghosts, you have no defence at all, little running speed and no stealth mechanics, even though you can crouch, but it doesn't really seem to do anything. It makes each encounter terminal, and sometimes difficult to avoid. But as these enemies move around on their own, it's usually a matter of time and patience to get through a section. There's environmental hazards too though, and most of those are well hidden, and sudden death is sometimes at odds with the exploration and unravelling of a mystery. Yes, it also adds tension, it's true, but mostly of the video game frustration tension, not the atmospheric kind. Now those criticisms are going to be more subjective, as Kholat is a genuinely disturbing experience, full of atmosphere, tension and visually impressive for an Unreal Engine 4 game. Its faults will detract depending on how high your tolerance is for this type of game and the faults I've outlined. Personally though, I loved it, and without the issues raised, I feel this could have actually been something really, really special. As it is, I still believe Kholat is worth playing, but you just need to be aware that frustration and tension will be present in equal measure. 7.5 out of 10. Please keep it here at GameWatcher.com for all the latest news, reviews and previews of PC games. You can also subscribe to our YouTube channel and Twitter account to make sure you don't miss a thing. Thanks for watching.